Hallo, hallöchen Leute, willkommen wieder zurück zu Honkai Star Rail.
Carefully into lantern above, as the Theoros I have observed.
Oh,
Aglaya, what happened here?
ja, das frage ich
I
mich auch.
know about the poisonous fangs of that king snake through the golden threads. In the past, I would be confident about keeping her in.
What do you mean?
It is no longer about eloquence or arguments. I have been a demigod for far too long, that I hardly have any humanity left. Before I realized it, I have become no different from these hypocrites. This has come a lot sooner than I expected. But perhaps it is time.
Yes, this is my duty, but
It is far easier for the Council of Elders to fool many than just fool one person. Their so-called more support is no more than a ruse to distribute power using words instead of lances. There is no glory in winning this debate, but that makes having respect for humans so much more priceless. Finan,
I appreciate what you've taught me, Aglaya. I hope we'll live up to your expectation.
Oh, sie schon wieder.
Oh, you've done well, Lord Calictus. Let me take over and personally close this debate for today. Dearest counselors, let it be known that I sorely miss the blissful times portrayed in lyrical poems. Back then, Amphoreus was home to nearly 1,000 cities. Yet, in the present, people from all over are forced to leave their homeland to seek refuge in the holy city, where they hope to rest under Kefali's protection. All of us have longed. We didn't have a choice in the past, but now, the Council of Elders brings to the table a new possibility. All I have. Would you rather strive toward the unheard of Era Nova, or return to the prosperous Era Chrysia of our past? Now, which of the two would lead mortals to an ideal?
Natürlich unterstütze ich die Era Nova. Wenn es möglich ist, die Era Chrysia zurückzubringen. Aber wie sollen wir Amphoreus zurück in die Era Chrysia bringen?
We all know that Era Chrysia is a thing of the past, Lady Kindness. Please, enlighten me. How?
Let the three titans of calamity be born, and Era Chrysia is nevermore. But bring demise to those titans, and Era Chrysia will descend. Know that the Council of Elders is never one to make empty promises. Look at who we have on our side. Anaxagoras, one of the Grove's 7 sages, and Castorus, Idonia's goddess of death. With the help of these two heroes, I can promise all of you that
Aren't they Chrysos heirs? They're supporting the Council of Elders?
It's clear from the start that these heroes do not get along well in their group. All the more proof that Aglaya isn't fit to speak on behalf of every Chrysos heir. I am in favor of...
Era Chrysia! Era...
Castorus? Why are you standing over there?
you finally arrived, Naxa. So have you, Kaz.
Don't worry, Aglaya. Well, I know that you have many queries. Could you continue to converse like how the citizens normally do?
Jetzt werden aber hier die Sprüche
Tell
rausgekloppt.
me, dear citizen, if we successfully retrieve and return Thanatos' core flame without anyone passing the Death Titan's trial,
The answer is simple. We will have a chance to rid the world of death and bring Amphoreus back to an era when all beings live for...
One of the 7 sages. Your proposal is much too idealistic. as long as the Black Tide still exists.
Remember what I previously said? Kefali's core flame is guarded by the secret power of the Council of Elders. Plus, Pagusa's water curtain will be able to block out any Tell me, dear citizens, have any of you ever seen even a glimpse of the threat that this person is talking about?
Aber dieser Ort wird früher oder später das Ziel des Flammendiebs sein. Ist das nicht einfach nur Überlebendenverzehrung?
Oh. Could it be that you heard that from the flame? Citizens, let's loudly sing the blessed hymn. Oh, beautiful old world, where are you now?
After the destruction of the 3 Titans of Calamity, the Flame Chase journey will...
This is bad. The masses are now totally rough.
Anaxa, pray tell. Everything that you've mentioned hinges on the premise that we can find...
Thank you, Lady Aglaya, for still caring about this city. However, dear Castorus, Idonia's goddess of death, will surely find Thanatos under my guidance.
What?
With that, I solemnly promise that the core flame Lady Castorus brings back will be personally met. Thereafter, if we are able to garner the support of all of you at the Citizens' Assembly, we shall spare no effort in ensuring...
Das bleibt abzuwarten.
With the balance shattered, the result is clear. By Kefali and Talent, Akama has chosen her destiny. The issue up for discussion at this Citizens' Assembly shall be modified to the suspension of the Flame Chase journey.
Aglaya, dear Aglaya, what has caused your heart to soften?
Wag your tongue as much as you like. Since the Flame Chase journey has been pre-ordered...
Well then, I guess we'll find out.
Lygos verkündet das Ende der Debatte und die Anwesenden gehen auseinander. Okay. Kann ich noch mit euch reden? Nee. Aber Castorus, dass sie plötzlich die Seiten wechselt. Was hat sie vor?
Well, it seems that when I sent you to look for Anaxa,
My apologies, everyone. I know that you have many questions to ask me.
In that case, please tell us as much as you...
Was ist passiert, als du Anaxa aufgesucht hast?
In actuality, he showed me a past that was both long and heavy.
Okay.
The reason I say this is as I've mentioned earlier.
Anaxa, you were in the Netherrealm?
Yes, I am but a living dead man now. But that's not important. What true...
Ja, das haben wir gesehen. Was, wir sind jetzt als Castorus unterwegs?
Have you heard of this tale before? A tale about the ocean god's treasured pearl. It was a seaside town which enjoyed the ocean breeze and glorious, peaceful times, thanks to the wisdom of its ruling, until one day, an evil dragon descended upon the town. Its wings were large enough to blot out the sun. It barged into the tall tower and devoured the queen's beloved daughter. It even settled itself in her bedroom. The queen assembled 300 warriors who managed to subdue the evil dragon by chaining it up. However, when the queen slit open the dragon's belly, she realized that the princess had long since been digested, and all that was left of her was... It was then that a devious, smooth-talking scholar arrived at the palace and suggested that the princess could be revived through the use of dragon bone and dragon blood. The princess was reborn! The queen was overjoyed, blissfully unaware that the evil dragon's soul still lurked within the princess's body. As revenge, the evil dragon swallowed the poor queen. Worse still, the souls of the deceased refused entry to the Netherrealm because they were filled with regret forced to roam the mortal realm. These resentful souls, terrifying death had consumed all. Thereafter...
Until? Oh my... It seems that you still like to wet... So, according to your story, this and yet...
A miracle that I created with alchemy. As for what it is and how I was able to accomplish...
Oh, my goodness. Is this cliffhanger real?
Quiet, Titan. Continue to enjoy this splendid play, and the truth will naturally return.
Dragon, huh? I've heard this legend before.
In that case...
I think that this so-called alchemy was a tenuous analogy added to the story by future generations.
Indeed. Before I left home to pursue my education, I never even knew that anybody was looking into this area.
Therefore, we can just treat this tale as a fable told to young children.
A fable, you say? If so, what moral is it trying to impart to...
I guess it might be the concept of equivalent
Oh? I thought the moral might be closer to something like... honor the dead. What? At a loss for words?
No. I merely realized that we're both thinking of the same principle. If life is priceless, then there is hardly anything else in this world that is of equal weight to it, right?
By the way, was hat sie eigentlich an dem Gesicht kleben?
As expected of the wisest scholar in the land.
You flatter me. Why don't I ask you?
Of course. What is your question?
Das sieht aus so ein bisschen wie die Augenklappe von Alexa.
If I imparted my knowledge of the art of... would you use it to resurrect someone you loved?
What? What kind of strange question is this? I got it.
Let's just leave it at that.
Yes, I would.
Oh?
Death is inevitable. In the days to come, if such a mighty power really existed, after all, you, me, and the rest. My time is finally here.
You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the... It is a pity that fate is such...
Is there no other way of interpreting those words?
I'm afraid that the meaning is clear. Between my sister and me, one must... I'm afraid that the prophecy might even have selected...
Fortune makes fools of us all.
My sister is prepared to sacrifice herself. How absurd. My time is almost up, but what should we do?
Since Chaos is willing to guide all of us and leave this trial to the end...
That's right. Don't allow the fog of an uncertain future.
Trial, prophecy... The topics that they're discussing seem familiar. But these three people must not have left their names in the epics. Otherwise, I would have some recollection.
Amphoreus' history before the Titans were born was complete. I have long held three hypotheses about this. However, let's continue watching.
Calypso, Polixia, and this warrior... I see...
Regarding this matter, Nias, are you confident that...
Of course. Though...
Okay.
Looks like you have made up your mind.
Yes. This is the safest course of action.
Completely separating courage, honor. You really know how to make...
Please, young lady. Witness my fall and demise.
I do not understand. Why would you?
Because this is our destiny. The
The power that resides within me is furthermore. A valorous death before glorious return has always been the path I chose to walk. A journey I began long ago. Despite being death's chosen, let's chat, young lady. Perhaps I shouldn't end my... Since there's still time, I'm not worried about...
Of course. This warrior has the embodiment of Nikador's divinity. He entrusted his life to us. That means that what I'm currently seeing before...
Looks like one hypothesis of mine has already been proven true. These heroes are the... If so, the chosen one of death that he speaks of...
Polixia! Is the previous form of Thanatos?
If this is true, as long as we can find out where she went, we'll naturally be able to figure out the location.
But before that, we first need to witness what...
Also ist wahrscheinlich Thanatos in Kesteris, wenn ich das jetzt richtig verstehe. So, fügen wir natürlich sowas von hinzu. Gut. Ja.
Nikador's courage is a testament that they have never once retreated from a battle.
I've heard that these words are still engraved in Castrum Kremnos even today. It didn't occur to me that they were actually part of an alchemical formula.
Lord Nias's honor is sealed here.
Incredible. The honor.
Ja, was haben wir hier?
That his tenacity is sealed within this statue.
Before we fought Nikador, we also released it from the...
Okay, und hier ist dann das letzte, ne?
Sealed within this statue is undoubtedly...
They use their own body as our city walls, keeping out and protecting us from the pervasive spread of madness.
Gut, dann gucken wir uns das hier mal an.
Courage.
And finally...
Cheer up, young lady. There is no need to shed tears over a...
all farewells in this world.
No, young lady. As a warrior, I have witnessed too many bitter deaths. But now...
Although only a sliver of your soul remains, you remain so optimistic.
To be honest, I don't know either. But I am certain of one thing. This is not an acceptance of death, nor apathy toward... I am just enjoying what remains of my life.
Enjoying?
Indeed. Along this journey that we've taken together, and now I have reached the journey's end. When I look back and see the grand epic that I've
But when you depart the mortal realm, separation and death are two sides of the same coin.
Finally, let me recount to you a story. The first time I returned from the battlefield, I felt extremely hollow. The calamity had devoured everybody on the battlefield but me. When I returned to the city alone, the citizens held a banquet for me that was far from pleasant. I felt it was late into the night by the time the banquet ended. My head still reeling, I returned alone. It was a crazed scholar looking at the night sky and muttering to himself by the side of the road. Although I tripped over him and fell, I wasn't... Do you think that it'd be better if we just died on the roadside like a couple of stray dogs? To my surprise, he shrugged his shoulders and sighed.
To someone who is currently experiencing death, dying and living afford this. Now please go away and don't block my starlight.
Are you trying to say that there is no difference between living and dying?
That's exactly what life is, and death is, but a scale to measure how valuable the journey was. Therefore, young lady, don't detest your fate. Instead,
The embodiment of strife, telling me about the majesty of the world.
indeed. I believe that when the fated moment eventually, it is time for me to knock on death's door. I will set up a long table at the end of the road. When that moment finally comes, let us...
Dann lasst sie trinken und fröhlich sein.
I knew this day would eventually come.
Are the both of you?
Mm-hmm. Polixia, I'm here.
Oh,
What? This...
deine Gestalt.
This is quite interesting indeed.
Is this... Polixia's sister? Is it... me? Now, it's time for us to fulfill our... Are you afraid? What are you afraid of? That... You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains, and be reborn with the dead flame. As foretold in the prophecy, and according to our vows, once it all ends, we must... Even if it was prophesied, do we have no say in the matter? Let me do it, sister. Let me be death's sacrifice. I was never long for this world. I was the one who wasted your life after all. You're wrong, Polixia. I don't think that my life was wasted. Just the opposite. When I finally arrived at this destination and looked back, it was you who sowed the seeds for this sea of flowers. Besides, I have lived a fulfilling life. Even though I was fated for sacrifice, none of the things that I've experienced... How could my memories of you ever compare to the... Well then, tell me, what exactly are we? I don't know either. But regardless of what the answer is, regardless of how we're shaped by others, or ever since we were born, the fact that we existed was predestined, and nothing could erase it. This is why I will... We're twins, after all. All right, my dear Polixia. It's time to extract my heart and light the... After that, use it to plant the first bud in the...
If I imparted my knowledge of the art, would you use it to resurrect someone?
Death is inevitable. If such a mighty power really existed, even now, my answer, this is why, sister, in the prophesied new world, I shall plant the Virgo now. Return to the ocean god's treasured pearl, our hometown. I shall open wide the entrance to the nether realm and grant you a second life. But remember, do not look back on the land of the dead, and do not stop moving. As for the price of our equivalent exchange.
Everybody, we've come to the end. Unfortunately, I am not compatible with the Supreme Being, so I was unable to... I'm certain of this now. Before the Titans that we are well acquainted with were born, a group of heroes roamed the land. These heroes followed just like the flame chase journey of today. Amphoreus is...
What a startling revelation. This means that the...
I believe that this is the truth behind the Era Nova.
This is utterly unbelievable. Besides, those twins in the past, even if they really are...
Are their whereabouts truly unknown? Didn't Polixia mention that seaside town? In our world, there exists a city which perfectly matches that.
But the people there worship Vagusa and bear no relation to Thanatos. I have also never been to that place, as in the time of Idonia.
Take this.
This is...
the new Sporist masterpiece, the Philosopher's Stone. It was made by transmuting all of the sage's wisdom into... Remember? I've mentioned before that the art of alchemy is all about conversion, tempering, and ascension. This process also applies to the pursuit of truth. Regardless, think about the story of the dragon. This stone will lead you to your real hometown.
You still look as confident in your victory as ever.
Simple. I shall merely admit to the entire world that However, my line of thinking will not fail, because I have already planted the seeds of doubt into the hearts of the masses. Actions speak louder than words, Castorus. With the assembly about to begin, don't forget the prompt.
I've already searched for so long. I'm willing to try one more time. But before I leave, I have another question.
That was the world imprinted in Kefali's soul. If we are to prove its existence, you must take the final step.
I understand.
Hey, child of humanity.
Don't get antsy. I still remember the question you posed to me. As a scholar, I do not wish to offer up ambiguous conclusions. Let's discuss this topic again.
I merely wanted to ask, if so, rebirth...
Why not? When I was a child, I lost someone dear to me. When I was a teenager, I lost my... Now I'm merely forsaking my body.
Why are you always finding ways to die?
This is but a necessary sacrifice on my path to
Can someone who's dead even claim to be the purest of them all? Furthermore, if your hypothesis...
No, it's just the opposite. It means that I can actually ascend to godhood and reshape this absurd world.
So, hä? Wir haben Castorus ja gar nicht gespielt. Warum haben wir dann zu ihrer Perspektive gewechselt? Oder kaum.
Lady Aglaia, please, let me explain.
Ich hätte sie gerne vor dem Kampf gerne gehabt. Ja, aber in diesem Update wird erstaunlich wenig gekämpft.
You know that the core flame of death has always been the greatest unknown regarding the Era Nova, which is why both you and Kynus desire to gain the power to control that core. Professor Anaxa has come to a consensus with Kynus. They want to suspend the trial once Thanatos' core flame is reclaimed, hoping thus to eradicate, but I know this runs counter to your wishes. So long as we do not usher in Era Nova, the Black Tide will never be eradicated. Even with Lord Mighty on the front line, and the Black... Honestly, it's difficult for me to assess the pros and cons in this decision. But someone must... The Titan could be very near. I cannot let this chance slip by. Besides...
Well said. You already had every reason to seek an audience with Thanatos. It's that great performer who has weaponized your wishes and placed us in this difficult situation. A world without death. Do you desire that too?
If fate dictates that my path must oppose yours, I will do all I can to resist it. Lord Mighty showed me that without taking the first step,
All talk of what follows is moot.
Casterus, du hast dich verändert. Im Wort verlegen Neffen. Der Bahn erklär. Lass deine Fäden innehalten.
I have always hoped to hear you speak your mind, Cass. And I am glad to have Styxia. I visited that place in the past. Though it is now an island surrounded by the river of Souls Torco, I will not stand in your way. As for you, you are someone who has cheated death. I believe you have more than enough reason. Casterus, I too look forward to your journey. I wonder what kinds of new...
Thank you, Lady Eclia.
I hate to put a damper on this heartwarming moment. If Styxia is now an island surrounded by the River of Souls torrents, then how do we...
The answer is quite simple. In the myths, Zagreus once made the domain of the dead their treasure vault. That is to say, and if they could do that, then it follows that the demigod who inherited their divinity... I'll see you at Memorial Palace at Action Hour tomorrow. Cypher shall be your guide to finding.
Cypher? Von der haben wir schon einmal gehört. Oder von ihm. Der turbulente Tag geht endlich zu Ende. Alle zerstreuen sich, jeder in seinen eigenen Gedanken versunken. Ich weiß auch nicht mal, ob das ein er oder sie ist. Mal gucken. Namenlose Rückerinnerung. Die Dienerin erzählte ihr von dem Geheimnis des Mythos und ein Gelehrter kam, um die Antwort auf ein verbotenes Rätsel zu finden. Auf den Seiten des Buches werden die während der Reise ans Licht gebrachten Wahrheiten festgehalten. Ja, aber um das Buch möchte ich mich jetzt nicht kümmern. Erstmal. Gut.
Hey, friend. Is the debate finally over? Did you win?
Ja. Wir haben die Oberhand. Wir haben sie alle fertig gemacht. Wir sind gleich auf mit dem Ältestenrat. Wir haben eine glorreiche Niederlage errungen.
What a glorious defeat. You sure know how to look on the bright side. Well, moving on. I was hard at work even while you were... I borrowed a mountain of books from Cass to see if I could find a way to solve your problem. Let's see. Only 32 books to go.
Von wie viel? Schon gut. Wir haben einen Weg gefunden.
Really? Oh, that's fantastic news. I knew it. Hard work always pays off. Especially if you're as diligent as Mem. I feel like a huge burden has finally been lifted off my shoulders.
Dabei hast du gar nichts gemacht. Mehr können wir im Moment nicht tun. Ruhen wir uns erstmal auf. Wie es ihre Gewohnheit ist, schleppt Mimi mit erstaunlicher Flinkheit zurück in ihr geheimes kleines Versteck. Gute Nacht, Mimi. Gute Nacht, okay, Mann. Es ist doch jetzt Nacht, oder? Wer weiß. Später irgendwo in Okema. Okay, in welche Rolle schlüpfen wir diesmal? Oh.
Cass? What a surprise.
Lady Treeby.
Treeby, von ihr haben wir auch in langer Zeit nichts mehr gesehen.
Something troubling you?
I just wanted to speak to, like, no matter how breathtakingly beautiful Styxia once was, the place is now the domain of the departed. I don't want to have any
Has anyone told you?
Is that a figure of...
In the past, when you did smile once...
Lady Treeby, you know perfectly well that see you tomorrow is nothing but a white lie. I hope your toughness is not a mask hiding a lonely heart.
Cass, you hardly ever talked of your past. None of us knows what you went through, apart from Maggie. But we know it must have been filled with pain and hardships. As it is the fate every Chrysoceres, we are just happy for you that the core flame you're meant to inherit has found.
Isn't it a little too soon to say that?
But you already know where tomorrow is, don't you? There's no need to rely on anyone else. Just give it your all and leave no regrets. We have always believed because we embrace others to comfort them. And Cass,
You're the kindest Chrysosaur we know. Thank you, Lady Treeby. This feeling... It's hard to put into words. Then go do it, Cass. Trian was actually working on a surprise gift for you. It's a pity she didn't get to finish it. But now Trinan and us... So, let's meet back here when you return from Styxia. Safe travels. See you tomorrow.
Ja, dann sehen wir uns morgen. Gleichzeitig. Okay. Ich kann nicht schlafen. Okay. Wer könnte das sein? Vermutlich Feynon. Oder Danhang? Aber warum sollte der klopfen? Na gut, Leute. Dann mache ich hier erstmal einen Cliffhanger und wir sehen uns im nächsten Part an, wer da dahinter ist. Ich denke, es ist Feynon. Danhang wäre unwahrscheinlich, der wird einfach reinkommen. Ist ja auch sein Zimmer. Naja, werden wir sehen. Ich sag doch mal, bis dann und ciao.